Don't let all that bread go to waste. Make this delicious bread pudding. Your family will enjoy it. See how I get it put together. So for our bread pudding that we are making today, it is going to consist of some butter. We're going to have our bread, and this is some day-old bread. I have sliced bread, some day-old donuts. They're plain, and I also have some hot dog buns. We got our eggs, some vanilla, which is going to have a combination butter, vanilla, and a little bit of that maple flavor. That is all mixed here. Got some mixed nuts, our milk, and some cinnamon. And now we're about to get this put all together. We're going to start by crumbling up our bread into pieces in this bowl right here. And we're going to do that with all of our bread and our donuts. And then we will continue on from there. Okay, so you can see here we have all of the bread and the donuts all crumbled up into pieces. I'm going to transfer it into this bowl here. Some of them were crumbled and some I did chop for some different textures. And we also have our nuts here, our mixed nuts. I cut them up. This is approximately 10 to 12 cups of bread, miscellaneous bread. You could use whatever bread you have on file or have in your house. This is about 1.5 cups of mixed nuts chopped. This, as you can see, is 1/3 cup of melted butter. And I have 1.5 teaspoons, or actually 1 tablespoon of my flavors, the vanilla butter and the maple. And I have 5 eggs and my cinnamon and my milk, and I'm about to make my roux or my custard, not roux. I'm going to make my custard inside of this bowl here. I'm going to start by cracking my eggs into this, and then I'm going to transfer it into the bowl. And I'm going to keep doing that so that way I know I won't get any eggshells by cracking them inside of this measuring cup and then placing them in the bowl here. Okay, what I'm going to also add into this bowl now is the chopped nuts. And I have all my eggs in here, so I'm going to now add my cinnamon, approximately 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Or you can add as much cinnamon as you like. I'm adding my flavors, my melted butter, and I'm now going to add my milk, and that is going to be about a good 3 cups of milk. So I have 1, 2, and 3. Then I'm going to give this a good whisk. Once this is all whisked together, then we're going to add this to our bread and nuts right here. Now that the custard is mixed, I'm going to go ahead and just pour this over the bread and the chopped nuts here. And if it's not enough milk after I mix this, then I'll just add a little bit more milk. But we want to make sure that everything is soaked and make sure that the bread, oh yeah, all of the bread is coated. We don't want any dry parts of this. So you want to stir this up really well. This is what your bread pudding should look like. This is after I mixed it. I did not have to add any more milk because the milk and the egg, the custard that I made up, it was just right. So now I have sprayed a pan here with some butter flavored spray, and I'm going to pour the mixture in here, and then it's going to go in the oven and bake. Now that I have the bread pudding all inside the pan here, I'm going to lightly sprinkle it with a little cinnamon, just to give it that little extra cinnamony flavor. And I'm going to let this bake in the oven on 350 for 30 minutes, or until it comes out dry when I poke it with a toothpick. The sauce that's going to be used for the topping of the bread pudding, I'm going to use some milk, and this is 2.5 cups, but I may not need all of it, so I'm just going to eyeball it and say I'm going to use about 1.5 cups for now. I'm going to use some sugar, and this is 1 cup of sugar, but I'm trying to eyeball it to see how sweet it's going to. I don't want it too sweet, but just enough. And this is 1 tablespoon of cornstarch and 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of that in there. Not all of it. Like I said, this is all with eyeballing. And I'm just going to kind of whisk this all together. And of course, for flavor, this is some butter, vanilla flavor. And I'm going to whisk this. And I have this on medium-low heat. And we're going to see how thick this gets, because we want this to really be a really nice kind of a thick sauce. And as soon as it starts thickening up, then it'll determine whether or not I need to add more of the milk or more of the flour and cornstarch mixture. Just going to let that sit for a little bit, and I'll check back in 1 minute. Here is the bread pudding. It is complete, topped with the cinnamon. Now we just need to wait for the sauce to make sure that it is dry all the way through. It's clean, nothing on it. Yep, perfect. So this is what I did. I decided to pour the sauce. This is that milk sauce that I have in the pot here, and this is how the thickness of it turned out. And I just poured it over the bread pudding. The reason why I decided to do this, and it is because this beautiful bread pudding had all the right flavors and ingredients until I realized there was no sugar. I forgot to put sugar in the bread pudding. So I figured I will go ahead and just pour this delicious glaze over it. And yeah, I'm going to pre-cut this and see how my coworkers will like this bread pudding. And yeah, a true flop. This is some of the butter coming from the greased pan, but yeah. So yeah, this bread pudding went flop. This is the glaze, and I'm going to slice it, and we'll see what they think of it. And we'll post their reaction, and if anybody decides that they want to eat this, my mistake, then hey, that's wonderful. Okay, thank you for watching, and God bless.